Hi, welcome to Your Checkup. We are the patient education podcast where we bring conversations from the doctor's office to your ears. On this podcast, we try to bring medicine closer to its patients. I'm Ed Dulesky, a family medicine doctor in the Philadelphia area.
And I'm Nicole Rufo. I'm a nurse.
And we are so excited you were able to join us here again today. We could probably do a whole episode on the things that have happened to you recently. Can you set the scene for us?
It was traumatic. I am injured.
It was a simple thing, turned so sideways.
Oh my gosh, I know. The couch came out of nowhere. I stubbed my toe. But I actually broke my toe. Blew up like a grape. Heard the crack.
Yeah.
Eddie made me go to a beach urgent care to get an x-ray. And I felt kind of silly being there, but then she told me it was broken. So I felt kind of better.
You were like
in the
rocking,
moment.
You were like rocking in the fetal position on the exam table, being like, I'm going to feel so dumb if this isn't real.
I was. Like the MA came in, Maria. I told her all about it. And then the PA came in and she's like, so you stubbed your toe. I'm like, yeah, I did. But like it cracked and it hadn't stopped throbbing.
Right. Like normally you stub your toe, you're in a couple moments of agony and then like it goes away. You know, it becomes a thing that happened that you're resilient. You bounce back. No, your bone crumbles.
Oh my God. It was so dramatic. My first broken bone.
I know. I was so sad about that. Like my Nikki and like your bone.
No, like if we want to talk about dramatic. Okay. It is not lost on me that this is fine. It will get better. It could be worse.
Right.
However, I cannot get over the bruising on my foot. Every toe is bruised. Like half of my foot is bruised. I can't put on a sneaker. I'm walking in this stupid post-op shoe, probably for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's so dramatic for no reason.
I know, all for like, and it really takes you down too. Like you can't, like, I mean, you're being really creative with like exercising too, but like we were running girlies.
I know.
I don't want you to think. I don't want you to think about that too much.
I had my first wedding dress fitting in like 3 weeks.
Let's not go down that path right now. Altogether, getting the X-ray was nice. She definitely was like. So when we go to an urgent care, or we go to like a hospital, we usually operate in disguise. This has happened twice.
I mean, yeah, we're not like being those people.
No, we don't.
We were there for the X-ray. Like we're not there for stellar medical advice or care. Like. We need the image and we'll go from there.
Right. But then when like she came in and she was like, all right, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is it's broken. And she never got to what she interpreted was the good news.
She didn't.
No, she didn't. She just stopped there and she's like, the bad news is it's broken. And I feel like her good news was like, but the good news is here's a referral to sports medicine, which is totally the reasonable thing to do.
Ortho, yeah.
Yeah.
Which thankfully we have an ortho bestie, so Eddie sent my x-rays to him.
I was like, hey, can you
got to dodge that doctor's visit and copay.
Double check the work of a simple country doctor with what I'm thinking here.
You know, we do need to talk about something though.
Oh, let's dive in. What do you want to talk about?
Because I'm injured and I'm sitting here working.
No.
Because HR refused to give me FMLA. And I feel like I should be going to the Department of Labor after this.
Maybe you have to.
To file a complaint.
Yeah, maybe. I don't like HR. I'll say that out loud. Not the people. The people are great, but, you know. I got nothing to say. You and I both know how this is actually going today and the function of what we're talking about up front here. Yeah, she never did get to the good news, which I was shocked.
You have nothing to say on denying my FMLA?
No, I have absolutely nothing to say to that. I deny that I denied.
Your people can talk to my people.
Your FMLA. But then when I asked her, I was like, oh, is it displaced? She gave me this look of like, who taught you that trick? And we still remained in disguise.
Where's your Google medical degree?
Absolutely. She like totally thought that I like had looked up toe fracture and like, you know, came up with that.
I mean, yeah, I don't blame her.
No, I would have thought the same thing.
She works at a beach urgent care. She wants to keep it moving.
Well, yeah, but like if that happens to me, I usually ask like, "Oh, like are you in the medical field?" Like a question like that comes out, then I usually lob up the like, "What do you really know?" So I'm not speaking to like giving like the no jargon information, and we can talk like, you know, compadres.
Yeah.
So, what else has been going on?
What else has been going on?
Mm-hmm. There's nothing.
Well, we're deep into Love Island. Such good rotting.
For someone who jumps in and like just listens to this episode, can you tell them what Love Island is?
Yeah, Love Island is probably some of the best reality TV.
And we would know. We watch a lot.
We watch a lot. Guys, girls, they're on an island. They're all coupled up together, and then these bombshells come in. But the whole shtick of it is that it's pretty much edited and put out in real time. Like what you're watching happened like 2 or 3 days ago because they're in Fiji.
Yeah.
So, and then there's like live voting you can do. So that's been really fun. We've also been watching DCC.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Not to be forgotten.
We need to talk about what's going on in Texas, actually.
Remember, this is last year, how most reality TV is produced.
I mean, it's still going on, I'm sure.
Well, now they're doing this season. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. These women are like beautiful, stunning, flawless. They are 10s across the board. And then they're all, for some reason, except for that girl Kelsey from last year who got married and he was like an actor or something, like he's good looking. All of the men that they're with are these like kind of baby faced, a little portly, like just like
it's true
men.
I know.
And I'm like, how did you get her? Because like this is crazy.
I know a couple people, and I might have to like be like, you got to go to Texas. Like you might. That's where you gotta go.
Go to Frisco.
I mean, it is shocking.
Like,
they're great people.
It's just like
maybe
one after the next.
I know, it's consistent.
And then the third one, we were like, what is happening? How are these men who are like a 3 getting these like perfect looking girls?
It's a pattern too.
It is.
It's not just a one-off.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they have a lot of money.
That mic has never been the same since Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Really grabbed onto it. Yeah, that's a great point. I don't understand it. I see it too.
It's crazy.
I'm with you. If you watch DCC for no other reason, just like check that out and let us know what you think. Maybe we're just being judgmental, but
probably, but that's fine. This is a safe space as far as I'm concerned.
Right. This isn't going to go out to be available to anyone who wants to listen at all.
Oh, wait. We didn't talk about Jalen on Love Island.
Oh, Sweet King.
The Sweet King. Do you know what's happening online with Jalen?
No.
Okay, so Jalen was one of the bombshells that came onto Love Island. He's this like sweet Southern country boy. He was there for like 2 nights or something like that.
It was not a long time.
Ended up like the other Islanders voted him off, but he's like so sweet. He hangs out with his grandma in his free time. He got a passport, like had never left the country, got a passport to go to Fiji, and then he got kicked off. So then he makes a TikTok.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
He made a TikTok like 3 or 4 days ago. He got like 300,000 followers overnight. He has over 1 million followers now. And all of these brands and like airlines and stuff are commenting, being like, we want to fly you out, like get more use out of your passport, all this stuff. So like he's going to do great.
Wait,
I know.
Thanks for telling me. This is total news to me.
And like people online would be like, I can't stop thinking about Jalen smiling for his first ever passport photo to go to Fiji, and then he has to turn around and come home. Yeah,
he should have stayed.
He should have.
I don't like what they did there. Yeah, I like Taylor. I really do. I think it was a little bit of a...
Taylor's so funny.
He's so funny, but I also think that all of that was for like protecting him and his relationship with Alandria. Mm-hmm. And it should have... I don't know. They should have given him another chance. It was so obvious that it's Huda's time to go. Ugh, and like they should have given Jalen another chance. And it warms my heart to hear that he's getting this opportunity.
know.
That's actually really cool. And like, who knows what comes after that, but you know, like the 1 million followers, hopefully he gets a little
he has like
support.
3 TikToks when I was talking about it the other night. It's like
Wow.
he has 3 TikToks and like over 1 million followers.
That's awesome.
And all these like all of his comments are just like brands wanting to
Wow.
like send him stuff, fly him places, do all this stuff.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Maybe we need to have some sob story.
Yeah.
Let's put your toe
Seriously.
out there. And then maybe we put a, like those ASPCA.
Oh my God.
The
This
like
commercial.
in the arms of the angels. And it's your X-ray with like a very subtle fracture.
You have to really zoom in.
You have to really zoom in, and maybe that will get us where we want to go.
Yeah, maybe. No, like, don't you feel like my foot, like, I feel like that was someone else's x-ray. Like, my foot, how it looks, does not
No, I'm
give what the x-ray was giving.
a little curious to see what the repeat X-ray shows.
Yeah.
Because you have like tenderness like in a lot of places more than just where you stubbed your
I actually
pinky toe.
shattered my foot.
So like, I'm glad you're in the boot. We'll get you another X-ray soon enough, and probably next week, and we'll see what happens. Oh my goodness. All right, what are we going to talk about today, Nick? We're trying to diversify our content, and we see a lot of important things throughout our days, and some powerful stories. And every once in a while, we want to include those stories in a HIPAA-compliant way and share what we've learned from witnessing all of the things that we see. And so today is one of those episodes, and we're going to hear a story that is very important. So here we go.
I mean, it's not like, it's just like a little tidbit.
Yeah,
But I think it's good for patient education.
great.
So we discharged this patient recently, and then the nurse practitioner I work with was telling me that she last week got a message from home care about how, because she like follows them for a certain amount of time, about how the home care nurse messaged her that her blood sugars were like crazy high.
Oh,
And then turns out that she wasn't taking the cap off the needle, off the pen, I guess, to inject herself with insulin. So it was just like, I don't know where it was going, in the cap, I guess.
Oh my God.
But I thought that was a good. So then I think the home care nurse was like, show me how you give your insulin. And then she did, and she wasn't taking the cap off. But that's a good like education.
Absolutely. Just think like how.
Because like she wasn't a new, I don't know if she was a new diabetic actually. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But we do like insulin teaching before someone leaves, and there is a nurse who's like dedicated to do like all the education for everyone, who's wonderful. And I don't think she, didn't tell her to not take the cap off.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those, especially, I don't know what she went home on. I don't think it was a pen. But even like, sometimes you can't, because even like if it was a pen, kind of like the safety sleeve over the needle, it's hard to tell if there's a needle there.
One would think that that's like the cap,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like, oh, here's this big honking thing at the end. Let me take this off.
Yeah.
And I'm good to go.
So, I mean, whenever like I would be doing education, like teach back is so important. So I guess really like if you're, like at the doctor's office or in the hospital and someone's teaching you how to do something, I think pretty widely, like teach back and like demonstration is very common. But if someone's not asking you to show me back how you would do this at home,
Yep.
you should do it.
Right. Like do it.
You'll probably be asked to do that. I can't imagine a situation where you aren't, but
Oh, I can think of so many.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I can think of a lot. And like because I think hearing it and then actually doing it are two totally different things.
I think there was another guy. I can't remember exactly, but he had like very uncontrolled blood pressure, had a stroke because of it. And then I think it was the resident that was like, or someone was talking to him about like medicine, and his, I guess, like primary care doctor told him to like check his blood pressure at home weekly.
Okay.
And then, you know, so they could figure out meds and whatever. Yeah. So he was checking his blood pressure once a week and only taking his medicine when his blood pressure was high. So he was only taking it once a week.
There you go.
Not every day.
Right. Yeah. These are like such common misunderstandings that
it's very, what am I trying to say? I mean, all those little like nuances are really difficult, especially if you have zero experience.
Right.
Right. Like if you or I had an injection of some sort that we had to do at home, like, yeah, that's fine. Where do I pick it up at the pharmacy? Like whatever. But not everyone knows how to do every single little step. It's kind of like when you were in school, I forget what like the term for this is, but did your teachers ever do anything where like you had to write down instructions for something? And like the one that like I've seen and I've been told like from my teachers was like, write down the instructions for how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh my God. Wait, yes.
And then the first one that kids always write is like, put the peanut butter on the bread. So then the teacher would take the jar of peanut butter, put it on the whole loaf of the bread in the bag.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, I put the peanut butter on the bread. So I think that that's like the best comparison that I can think of.
That's a great example.
For like patient education.
This came up when I had a coding class in college. And they were like, you have to write all of the instructions for this device to be able to achieve what you want. And that the peanut butter and jelly thing came up. And they were like, well, where do you get the peanut butter from?
Instead of writing like, open the bag, take out a piece of bread, open the jar of peanut butter, get a knife, you know?
Which really just invites that all of us could be doing better when we are giving descriptions to people about how to do things. And you shouldn't take it for granted. Like, oh, this is your blood pressure medicine versus this is your blood pressure medicine that you should take one pill of every night for the rest of time or until something changes and you like need to keep getting refills. If you don't get a refill or the medicine runs out, you need more of it. That's a very common one. Or people think like if the medicine isn't there anymore, there's no refills on it, that it, like it's not, and it's a chronic medicine that they just,
yeah, I'm done taking it,
which is very common, but it happens a lot. Yeah. And diabetes education in the hospital, I think, is so important because it's a more fluid, open time than a finite, like 20-minute visit outside the hospital. And so like we get plenty of people with new diabetes in the hospital and they're like, oh, they can teach them outside the hospital. They can teach them outside. And I'm like, no, please put that order in so the nurse can educate them because one, the nurses are brilliant. They do this all the time.
Doing the diabetes education.
I guess my question for you is, at what age did the diabetes education go to the child versus the parent?
Well, I think a lot of it is like developmentally.
Okay.
I don't know if there's like a specific age, but kids are also pretty, what's the word I want to use?
Spongy.
Yeah, they are pretty spongy and they're just like aware. And I feel like a lot of times kids kind of like want to be in control of like, not in control. What am I trying to say? Yeah, I guess like in control or even just like checking a kid's blood sugar. Like they want to use the lancet themselves and like prick their finger and like, I think it kind of like gives them that sense of autonomy. I mean, regardless, it goes, you know, it's both the parent and the kid.
Did you find it easier to teach?
You can't be like fully dependent on an 8-year-old to be counting his carbs and like.
Right. Did you find it easier to teach the child or the parents?
Oh, that depends.
Okay.
I mean, like literacy level, education level.
All very important.
Mm-hmm.
Were there certain times when like common hiccup points or frustrations that would come?
I mean, yeah, there are. But I think, that's like a very overwhelming thing to be diagnosed with diabetes or have your kid diagnosed with diabetes, especially if you don't know anything about it. And it is kind of, just like wrapping your head around it is a little bit difficult, I think, especially if you have like zero medical literacy.
Right. That's
really hard. But then like sometimes if it was, I don't know, like whatever, like school aged kid, like 10 or so, like sometimes like the mom will be like really stressed out about like counting, because it's a little bit more detailed in peds versus adults, where you have to like do a couple like equations, counting carbs, you're dividing stuff.
They do tend to do that more in peds than adults. I still don't exactly know why. But.
And then sometimes like the kid will be like, Mom, it's like this number. And like,
oh yeah. And they're like ready to go.
The mom will be like freaking out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause they're like in still like a learning and growth mode, because they're in school, they're like learning every day, but learning as you get older, I feel like tends to go by the wayside a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's less invited in the adult world. Well, thank you for coming back to another episode of Your Checkup. Hopefully you were able to learn something for yourself, a loved one, or
a neighbor.
On this episode, we hope that this patient story was nice for you to hear, and you can check out our website, follow the podcast so that you can get updates about when new episodes come out, and most importantly, stay healthy, my friends. Until next time, I'm Ed Dulesky.
I'm Nicole Rufo.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye.
This information may provide a brief overview of diagnosis, treatment, and medications. It's not exhaustive and is a tool to help you understand potential options about your health. It doesn't cover all details about conditions, treatments, or medications for a specific person. This is not medical advice or an attempt to substitute medical advice. You should contact a healthcare provider for personalized guidance based on your unique circumstances. We explicitly disclaim any liability relating to the information given or its use. This content doesn't endorse any treatments or medications for a specific patient. Always talk to your healthcare provider for a complete information tailored to you. In short, I'm not your doctor.
I am not your nurse.
And make sure you go get your own checkup with your own personal doctor.